Well, good morning. Welcome to Unwashed Asses. Episode... I just had it. I just frickin' had it. And now I gotta look again. Episode 8. Recorded Monday. February 27th, 2017. So, it's a good thing I didn't name this show after a day like Christian's Thursday morning podcast, because it would never, ever be recorded on time. He'd be like, oh, well, what the shit? It's Christian's Thursday morning podcast on a Sunday, or Thursday morning podcast on a Monday afternoon. I'm sorry. I really want to put content out on a timely fashion, but I got work to do. I got bills to pay, and my work schedule's been a little crazy as of late. So yeah, I mean, I'll get the shows out when I can, but it's not always going to be at the same time, which is unfortunate because I want that consistency. I want to be able to say, oh yeah, by 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon you can go ahead and download the latest show. But I've been away for business, and that was last week, so I couldn't record then. And this week it's going to be a similar deal where I'm traveling around a bit and don't have the option to record when I'd like, because I'm actually working when I typically record. So I'm sorry. I will keep posting the episodes, but bear with me for a bit until my schedule goes back to normal. So, a couple things I wanted to talk about today were why fast food is the devil, monster trucks, and our third segment, it might be a little bit rambly. Didn't have a third subject really pinned down. There were a lot of good ideas coming, but nothing really formative, so we might just ramble with that one. But fast food is the fucking bane of my existence. I love this stuff, and I'm now coming to that realization of why it's so fucking terrible for me on so many different levels. Like, I'm a single guy, I live by myself, and my work has me driving around all day long for 10-hour stretches, and it is been really difficult for me to buckle down and say, okay, well, I'm going to pack a lunch today. It's going to be, like, my typical lunch is pretty straightforward. It's like a little bologna and cheese sandwich, some applesauce, yogurt, and a granola bar, and like a bag of chips. But that shit gets so fucking bland and sounds so terrible after a couple days of eating it, especially with the weather we've had where it's been just fucking freezing, and you're sitting in your truck eating this generic ass little lunch, drinking your water, when you look across the street and you see like a Taco Bell or a Perkins or McDonald's, all these fast food options, and you think to yourself, what's $8? What's $8 gonna hurt? Go sit down somewhere and enjoy a hot meal. I know it's not the best quality, but it's warm, it tastes good, and I get to relax, and maybe if I go to the right place, I get to hop on a little Wi-Fi. I've been making that excuse way too much, because this past weekend I was getting out of the shower, and the way my bathroom's situated is you get hit with the mirror. Like, as soon as you open the shower curtain, boom, the vanity is in the opposite corner, and the mirror itself is angled. There's actually like two mirrors, and so one of them, you're looking at yourself full figured, standing there in all your glory. And I'm a very vain person. Most days I think I'm fairly attractive, and that day I'm doing my little Buffalo Bob impression. I got my towel, and it's like, would you fuck me? And I'm like, no, I would not fuck me. Like, I would not fuck me at all. And I'm looking around, like, it's spinning in my shower, head fucking soaked, and the cat's, playing with the shower curtain, and I'm trying to find an angle. Like, oh, good God, no! I'm just hideous all over. Why would anybody fuck this? And it sucked. And I realized immediately, I don't fucking exercise. I eat like shit. And I can't count on, like, my job's fairly physical, but it's not enough to, like, it keeps me at my current threshold. I'm not going to get any fatter, but I'm not going to lose any weight, and I'm not going to tone up. I have to make those extra steps. So the big one is easily my eating habits. I eat like shit. At least, four maybe 5 times a week I eat out. And you think to yourself, well, what's $8 here? What's another $8 there? And then that shit fucking adds up. Like, I do my budget, and I say, all right, here's all the money that has to go to my bills. Here's all the money, for like gas. Here's what I should have extra. Here's what I should have left over. And it's not an insignificant amount of money. I could start building a savings off of it, but I fucking blow all of it on fast food because I'm lazy. First and foremost, I don't want to cook. Cooking is a hassle to me. For a few weeks, I tried to be good and went to the store and made like a little meal plan for the week. Like, here's what I'm gonna make this day. Here's what I'm gonna make that day. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of it was chicken breasts and rice. And the problem was, I get home at 9 o'clock at night, and I don't want to fucking cook anything. And usually I got like a half-hour drive ahead of me to get home, and I'm going to go through a few towns that have a drive-through in them. And yeah, it's like, oh, well, the chicken's going to hold another night. And the chicken doesn't hold that many nights before you finally cook it up, and then it's just rancid. It's bad. It doesn't smell bad, but when you bite into that first piece, it's like, oh, you want to throw up, and then you've lost your appetite, which I guess is good, but it's a waste of money at that point. And last night it happened where I had taken the chicken out of the freezer, and I was thawing it out, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go home, I'm going to make some chicken and rice, be healthy and not spend money. My biggest thing is I'm trying really, really hard not to spend money because I'm broke as fuck and I hate it, and I want to change it. I want to have savings. I want to be able to travel a little bit, go see family out in California, or maybe go down to the Caribbean and lounge on a deck chair for a weekend, or I've got a passport. I could go anywhere I want, and flights are getting relatively cheap because travel by air fucking blows nowadays. It's all cramped, and you have to deal with the security, and it's just a hassle. But it's not so much like I used to really, really like flying, but not so much anymore. And we're getting off on a tangent here. So last night I'm on a job, and the customer is making steaks, and they smell really, really fucking good. Now, at that point too, paint the picture a little bit. The house is a bit of a disaster. Nothing's really picked up. It's all cluttered and whatnot. And customer is baked out of their fucking mind. I go into the bedroom and check some equipment in there, and he's got just a freshly laid pipe just sitting on the dresser, and you can smell it throughout the house. And he's like, I'm going to cook me some fucking steaks. I'm like, you go cook yourself some fucking steaks, man. And it smelled so fucking good. Not the pot, the steaks. The steaks smelled amazing. And it hit me at that point like, fuck, I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat some bland-ass chicken and rice. I want something grilled, something flame-broiled, and son of a bitch, there's a goddamn Burger King on the way home. I've got to get me a Whopper. And at that point I'm conflicted. Like, I have no fucking willpower or discipline when it comes to fast food. I tell myself, no, you're not gonna go out and eat. You've got food at home. Go home and make it. And the back of my mind's like, you don't want to cook. You can't get this type of flavor out of what you're gonna cook at home. Go swing by that drive-thru. You've had a shitty day. You've deserved this. You got a headache. You don't want to cook any food. Why? You work so hard, man. You deserve a little reward. And that's the type of shit that goes through my head like on a daily basis. And that's why I have no fucking money and I'm a fat piece of shit. Is because I give into that. And it was at that point that it hit me like, I am literally lazier than a person who is higher than a fucking kite. Like somebody who stereotypically is a lazy son of a bitch, has no gumption to do anything. They just sit on the couch and eat their Funyuns. And this motherfucker is making steaks that smell amazing. And he has more drive and gumption than I did at that moment. Like cooking some chicken and rice is not hard at all. You know, you put some shit in the pot, some water, you boil it, you bring it down to a simmer. Same thing for the chicken. You put a little marinade in there, you cut up the chicken, throw it in there, and then let it cook up. It takes 15-20 minutes at most. Steaks, a little trickier. You got to make sure it's grilling right. It's cooking all the way through. You're not drying it out. Still staying nice and juicy. There's an art to it. And this motherfucker, who's higher than a fucking kite, nails it. His steaks look perfect. They smell great. He has accomplished what he set out to do. Meanwhile, my own personal resolve has been broken, and I am arguing with myself on the drive home. You know, trying every Jedi mind trick I know, like, you don't want fast food, you don't want fast food. And then it comes to a point where I'm bargaining with myself for, like, you didn't work out this morning, you said you were going to start working out. If you get this fast food, you're not going to want to work out when you get home, but make sure you work out in the morning. Get up and go to the gym. Because that's my other big thing is I hate working out. It's with my schedule, I have to either wake up super early to do it, or after a long, hard physical day, come home and then go to the gym. And so there's just no winning with it, and so I didn't do it yesterday morning. I've yet to do it this morning, because yesterday I woke up at 6, and it's like, Jesus Christ, it's so fucking early. I don't want to get out of bed. It's so warm, and I've got the goddamn internet on my phone, and I could just, go on Imager or Reddit and waste the 45 minutes that I should be going to the gym and working out in bed. And to paint you a little picture here, it's not like I have to drive across town to go to the gym and be out in the cold and change vehicles and all that. The gym is actually in my apartment complex. Not only in my complex, it's in my building. And not only in my building, it is across the hall from my fucking unit. Like, I can open my front door and boom, I see the gym right there. So I have zero fucking excuse when it comes to working out. I hate doing it. I hate doing it. And so I'm bargaining with myself, saying, "Oh, okay, make sure you wake up in the morning and you gonna throw on your gym shorts and your running shoes and you're gonna go work out." And I wake up at 5:30 for whatever fucking reason. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm old. And I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock now and waking up at before the sun's up and wondering what the hell happened to my life. And I roll back over, go back to sleep, and you know how it is in the morning where like you wake up but you're not ready to get your day started, and so you keep rolling over and over again, and you're drifting in and out of sleep, and you're in this fugue state. You're not sure what's a dream, what's not a dream, and you're warm and you're cozy, and it's not like you're oversleeping to where you're starting to get that headache. But my alarm goes off at 6 a.m. It's like, all right. Time to get up, fuckface. You promised yourself you're gonna go to the gym, because lo and behold, I got that fucking Whopper last night. They got a new Whopper with bacon on it. It's so fucking good. Got a tall, ice cold Dr. Pepper with it, and Burger King, bar none, makes the best fucking fries. You can take that super salty string bean McDonald's shit, get it out of my face. Wendy's used to be really good, but then they started going to the sea salt, and I don't know what the fuck it is with all these fast food places where they just have to drown their fries in salt, and you have to drink half your pop to counter the effect of eating 3 fries. It's fucked up. But Burger King, they still got a good ratio, so driving home and I'm eating my Whopper. It's so fucking good. The veggies are so crisp, and that's the other thing I try to justify with it, like, you don't have any veggies at home, man. You got veggies on this burger. You don't know what kind of state they're in, but they're veggies. They got to be good for you. Like, I'm doing all this fucking crackhead behavior. Like, I am addicted. I can't go more than a couple days without getting fast food. And I constantly lie and bargain with myself as far as, like, okay, you can get it, but you have to do X, Y, and Z things. And then I never do X, Y, and Z things. And I just continue to become a fat piece of shit. And, getting back to the story here, where I'm laying in bed at 6 o'clock, like, all right, time to get up, go to the gym. And the gym itself, like I said, it's in the building, it's across the hall from me, but above the door is this sign that says, gym hours are 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. It's like, well, you could get up now. There's no point. The gym's not open. You can't get in there. And I think to myself, yeah, you're right, other me. I should just lay in bed and get on my phone and look at stupid pictures on the internet for an hour and fucking hate myself because I accomplished nothing. And I remember, I haven't recorded the show yet. And immediately the lazy part of my mind's like, but pictures on the internet, man. You can always record later. You'll record it when you get home from work today. You only work until 7. It's like, I know I'm not fucking going to do it. Because I told myself last night, alright, get yourself some Burger King, go home. Because that's what sprung this initial thing. Like, I realized my behavior and how self-destructive I am. Like, oh, that's a perfect topic. We're going to talk about that. And then it's like, nah, man, you got a headache. Yeah, your head hurts. You gotta go home and lay down. You don't feel good. And what do I fucking do? I get home, and I'm eating my I'm done eating my Whopper. I'm just sitting here, and sure enough, fucking around looking at cat pictures on the internet. It's terrible. I'm like, okay, I'm dicking around, and I'm looking and not actually accomplishing anything. And as I'm going through Imager, I'm gonna fucking pull it up on my tablet here because I don't have my phone with me right now. I don't know why I have Imager under like the reading category on my tablet. Like, I organized it. Like, I got it next to my Kindle and the Google Newsstand and Flipboard and all that shit. And then I got Reddit and fucking Imager, and I need to just make it its own little category. Like, waste your fucking time, hate yourself at the end of the day. But anyways, I came across this post on there, and it's like, all right, I need to stop being a lazy piece of shit, because it was a picture of Henry Rollins, and it said, no such thing as spare time, no such thing as free time, no such thing as downtime. All you got is lifetime. Go. Like, boom, fucking motivated. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. It's not even 9 o'clock. It's like 8:50. Yeah, I can easily record an hour-long show. I've got the gumption, I got the energy, and then just the fucking railroad spike of this headache hammers into my left eye, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, no, I can't. And so I didn't accomplish anything. I didn't work out yesterday. I got fast food. I hurt my bank accounts. I hurt my body because I'm going to continue to be a fat piece of shit. And I didn't record the show. And so I'm so fucking fed up and disappointed with myself. Like, it's to the point where I eat that Whopper and I realize, like, I'm asking myself, Christian, do you want this delicious flame broiled Whopper, or do you want to get rid of your tits? Like, I've got fucking tits. I was talking to a coworker the other day about streaming, like, oh yeah, if I was a girl, I'd totally play topless, like have a bra on or something, and just get the easy views, totally sell out. But I don't have to. It's like, oh yeah, you've got tits. get a bra, push them together. I'm like, fuck, I could easily go out, get fitted for a bra at Victoria's Secret, and shave my chest and have some decent fucking cleavage. And maybe that's the thing. That's what I should do, just to finally like hammer the final nail in this shit coffin. Is like go get on Twitch, set up my webcam, and like push my fucking tits together. I don't know. Maybe I'm only an A cup. I'm trying to get like a handful and fondling myself now. Like, yeah, probably an A cup. There's a little bit of muscle under there, but I don't know. If I get the right push-up bra, I could have a decent looking rack. But and that's the other thing too. Like that was the biggest thing is I was always fairly athletic throughout college and throughout high school and college, in decent shape. I would be running constantly and lifting weights and staying active. And so when my metabolism took a shit around the time I was 22. A lot of my muscle mass stayed the same. If anything, I just put fat on top of it. And I got a belly and I got tits, and I noticed like there's a little fat around my ass and the back of my thighs, but for the most part I look alright. Like if I don't eat like a piece of shit, I'm not bloated and I look okay. Like you can tell I'm heavier, but I'm not like obese, despite what the fucking We Fit always said. They always had my me as like this fat little roly-poly guy. It's like, I don't look like that. God damn, fucking lay off. But I noticed the other day, my body has decided that, alright, well, we're running out of places to store all this fucking fat. You're deluding yourself. We're going to start putting it in your fucking face. And that just hurt. Like, I knew I had a double chin starting, and that's not good in its own right. But looking at like my fucking cheeks, like, oh yeah, we're gonna start storing fat in your cheeks. I was just so fucking disappointed and disgusted with myself, and for the longest time in my life, I did not like myself. I hated myself as a person, and I had to work really, really fucking hard over the past couple of years to start overturning that, and I'm doing it in this weird fucked up way as far as I don't like myself, so I'm going to kill myself, and by kill myself I mean I'm going to turn myself into somebody that I would actually want to hang out with and spend time with, and that means not being lazy and actually setting goals and accomplishing them, producing content, and changing, how I talk and not being so down and bitter about everything. And I know I've got a lot of work to do, but I'm trying not to breathe in the microphone. I'm sorry, you keep hearing the sounds here, but actually, becoming a productive member of society and being somebody that I would want to hang out with. Like, oh, he's got these really cool hobbies. He does all this cool stuff. And he's jokey and not dour all the time and not super fucking depressed. And for the most part, it's been working. I don't hate myself. For the first time in my life, I can actually say I don't hate myself. I'm not a terrible human being. I do stupid shit, but everybody does stupid shit. And I've got interesting hobbies. I do cool things. I'm smart. I'm attractive. And that's the last thing I need to work on as far as actually being attractive. Because good genetics only go so far. And now I've got to take the time and effort and be the sculptor and realize that I am both the clay and the sculptor, that I am my craft. And just like I had been working to reshape my mental health and change my perspective there and craft a bigger, better, stronger human, I need to do the same with my body. And this past weekend was finally that wake-up call that I had been looking for ages, as far as I can't be a fat piece of shit anymore. I need to buckle down, and feel good about myself, and have the discipline to say, okay, it's not 7 a.m., but You got a pull-up bar. You can start doing your stretches and limbering up, because I used to be able to do the goddamn splits. I want to be able to do that shit again. And I used to be really good at doing, dips and pull-ups. And I know pull-ups are a fantastic fucking exercise. We don't have a pull-up bar in the gym, but I've got one at home. I can throw it in a door frame and just start going to town. And I can work my entire upper body and arms with that shit. And I don't need the gym to be open for that. And I can start getting rid of, the weight, get my face slim. And I don't want to be absolutely shredded. That would be awesome. But I want to lose this excess fat. I want to, start getting svelte and looking trim and not filling out my t-shirts when I put them on. I wear a fucking extra large t-shirt. When I was 18, and granted, I went from 180 pounds to 140 my first summer in college because I had nothing to eat. I was malnourished. But I was wearing a medium. I could squeeze into a size small t-shirt. And then I ballooned up to an extra large. Granted, I put on some muscle mass, but a fucking extra large from a medium, I should be down into a large. I've been sitting at 220 pounds for the past. I'm 32 now. For the past 5-6 years, never going over. Sometimes I get into a kick where I'm gonna work out. The New Year's resolution bullshit, and I'd get down to 210. I'd feel better about myself. Clothes would fit better, and then I quit fucking doing it. I'd give myself too many excuses and get lazy, and so I go right back up. And that's the thing, I never go past 220. I'd never hit the 225, 230 mark, which is nice, but I could reasonably lose 40 pounds and get super trim. And that's my goal, is I would like to hit 200 at least. If I could get under 200, 195, I'd be super fucking ecstatic. And then I'd look good, and maybe I feel better physically and won't fall asleep so early and have more energy at work, and be more attractive, get some cat calls. I like cat calls. I used to get them all the time, both guys and girls, and that made me feel good. I'd like to have that again. I still lack the skill set to detect when somebody's actually hitting on me, but for the more obvious ones, I'd like to feel good about that. Oh yeah, that cashier at the mobile, she just fucked the shit out of me, and I'm wearing all my fucking work gear and look like a goddamn freak of nature. But yeah, fast food's the fucking devil. And aside from getting fit, I want to see my bank account grow. I've been trying to be real good about my finances, which I've never been good about for my entire adult life. I have no savings. I don't have an emergency fund, and I'm 32 fucking years old. That's the type of shit, you should have that stuff locked down, and, at least an extra $1,000 tucked away for a rainy day, and I have nothing. I struggle to pay rent every month, and it's terrible because of these spending habits, and I'm glad I finally had that wake up, and now I have to stick with it. So today, once I'm done recording the show, I'm gonna go across the hall and get my workout on, and then for lunch I'm gonna eat my bologna sandwich and my yogurt and my applesauce, and then tonight I'm gonna cook up some chicken and rice, and I'm gonna have to live off of scraps for the next 2 weeks until I get paid. But you know what? I dug this hole. I made this bed, and now I gotta lie in it. But baby steps, it's building that momentum, and making yourself a better person one step at a time. You're not gonna have it all right away. I'm not gonna have $10,000 in savings, and I'm not gonna have an 8-pack that I can flip a coin between each individual abdominal muscle like you're rolling a quarter across your knuckles. It's baby steps, and it's okay to fuck up. It's okay to miss a day for like I had to work over, I had to go in early, but those are the emergency only situations. I can't cut any more slack towards myself. And today it's going to be a matter of looking up, because the gym, it's not really fully stocked. We have a treadmill, an elliptical, and some free weights, but it's enough. And so I need to look up free weight exercises and put together a routine to, not just go into full fucking bear mode of I'm going to work out my upper body and leave my gut and be, like one of those fucking strong men. No, I need to get rid of the gut, because that was the other thing, like I went from a medium to an extra large in my shirt size. My pants size, I went from a 32 to a 36. And that's just fucking unacceptable. Because my legs aren't growing, so I can see, like, when I had to buy the bigger size pants, like, it's starting to look like an inverted triangle or a pyramid, and it just sucks. It really fucking sucks. And so right now I'm sitting at 34. I'm down from the 36, which is nice, but I did get some 32 pants recently, and they're tight. Like, I can barely fit in them. They're uncomfortable. But I need to get back in those pants and look good and not have this muffin top. I've got this badass tattoo across my stomach that looks awesome when it pokes out from the top of my jeans. Except now I've got a gut hanging over instead of that badass tattoo. And so we're gonna fix that. We're gonna make it better. And if you guys have any tips or tricks as far as working out and sticking to a plan and how to motivate yourself, please send them in, because I need all I can get at this point. Send those over to theunwashedasses@gmail.com. Again, theunwashedasses@gmail.com. Go ahead, put fat ass in the subject line, and we'll share those, and hopefully not only motivate myself, but we can motivate one another, and I don't know, maybe do like a challenge or a giveaway as far as like, all right, person who loses the most weight, here's like 5 games on Steam. Go nuts, like, good job, you've gone out, you've been active, and we're gonna reward you with a way to stay inside for 500 hours just playing games. Okay, so, sorry. I need to change the recording format of the show where I can just go through and do a full show instead of recording bits and editing it together. And I think I figured out a way to make that happen. Because I would like to start just putting this on Twitch, recording in one go, and getting it uploaded both as an actual video and having the audio only formats available. So yeah, I'm sorry, I got distracted there. Couple other things that I did get worked out this past week, so I'm super excited about that. Primarily the fact that can now play sound clips through my soundboard and have other people on a call hear them. So Friday Night Smite's going to get a lot more interesting as far as what we can do there. I know I'm kind of disappointed with the quality of last week's show, and that's mostly my fault. And I need to figure out a format change here to get that going and talk with Mezzy and Woody about it. But I've just been working too much. I've been having to do actual work that actually pays me money and focus on that. But no, so monster trucks. Recently had my son over, and since he was barely like 2, maybe a year and a half, he's always liked these on YouTube. There's these monster truck videos where it's just like shitty flash animation, and it's like the side view of a monster truck driving along this track and hitting things and like blowing them up and crushing cars, things like that. He's just fucking loved them, because I don't know what the standard ages are for little boys. Like, I raised a couple of girls from age like 2 to 12, and so I'm familiar with those phases and how they interact. But with my son, he's the first boy I've had, and it's interesting to see what he gets into, what he finds interesting. Like, and I apologize for this next segment because every time, like, a lot of the shows I listen to, they're all older like myself, and they have kids and whatnot, and it would drive me nuts when they would talk about their fucking kids. Like, I get it, like, I have a son myself. I understand how amazing he is and how he is the center of my world, and your kids are going to be the center of your world. But to anybody outside of that direct relationship, nobody gives a shit. I don't give a fuck about your kids. I certainly don't want to hear you talk about your kids. I don't. Maybe that's the weird fucking sociopath in me that I just don't. I don't give a shit. Don't talk about it. Or with Valentine's Day, a lot of shows I listened to did like a Valentine's Day special where they had their wives on the show, and I fucking can't stand that shit. In fact, there was one show where, I'm not going to name names here, the wife became a permanent guest on the show, and I stopped listening because I could not fucking stand her. I tried. She just wasn't funny. The jokes were dumb. Her voice was irritating. And I always felt that her husband was laughing purely out of the sake that I need to laugh at my wife's jokes, or I'm not getting laid tonight. And you could feel like the other co-host like groan with it and like, oh ha ha, but he's not really into it. And it's aggravating as shit. And so I try to avoid doing similar things on my shows as far as like talking about loved ones, because I understand you guys don't care. You don't want to hear about who I'm dating, what my son's doing, things like that. But in this case, it's important to this story. So fucking suck it up. So he's been into monster trucks for the past couple years now, and it all started with these videos, and it's progressed to getting like monster truck toys, and eventually, when it comes back around, I want to take him to like a Monster Jam, and we'll see some actual monster trucks. But being a parent of a baby to toddler, it's you sit and you watch these shows with them. It's not like I just let them go willy-nilly on YouTube and like, okay, just click the next video you want. Before you know it, he's going to be watching like some Ugandan mother breastfeeding an alligator. I don't know what the fuck's out there, and I definitely don't have parental control set up yet because he's not old enough. I'm not going to let him fly solo on the internet. As he gets older, sure. But right now, he's too young for that shit. So I'm stuck watching these videos with him. And a lot of the YouTube stuff is inane. Like, I understand how kids would find it entertaining, and I actually enjoy quite a bit of it from the teaching aspect, where a lot of them break down, colors and the alphabet and the numbers. And I remember when I was like 5 going into kindergarten, I was dumber than a fucking box of rocks. I didn't know my alphabet. I couldn't spell my own name, and I couldn't count at all. Like, I knew colors. I think I knew colors. I'm not entirely 100% sure on that. Like, I was fucking retarded. My boy, he just turned 3, knows his alphabet, can count to 10, can spell his own name. Like, he's got all of this shit set. Like, he's going to be fucking brilliant. And I'm going to thank a lot of it because I haven't been working with him as much as I would like on these things because I'm a shitty human being. No, I take that back. I'm an amazing father. But these videos really reinforce and hammer these things down as far as they're continuously going over the colors and doing it in a super fun manner as far as like, here's a red monster truck crushing a red car, red. A blue monster truck crushing a blue car, blue. And they do it in such an engaging way and make it entertaining for the kids that, the the practice has to be its own reward. You have to enjoy what you're doing to enjoy practicing. Much like I hate working out, I don't fucking work out. So I need to find a way to make that enjoyable to myself. In the instance of these videos, he loves fucking monster trucks. Monster trucks are the greatest thing in the world next to trains. So seeing monster trucks, go through numbers or having alphabet and all this stuff integrated with it, fucking win-win. He knows his shit, and he's learning it by watching things that he thinks are just fucking badass. Except for one series of monster truck videos, and these are by far his favorite, and they've grown to be my favorite as well. Over on Kids channel on YouTube, it's just Kids, KDS channel, they have a series of actual monster trucks. Now when I say monster truck, it's not like Gravedigger and Bigfoot. It's a monster truck that's a monster, and the animation's, like a hair better than most of the others as far as the quality is concerned, but it's still that Flash 2D flat shit. What makes it different, though, is that it's actually telling a narrative. Over the past couple, year that we've been watching this one, he keeps coming back to it, and because I've seen these episodes over and over again, I'm not seeing them in order, but I know there's a fucking order. I know whoever is making this show, he's making, brightly colored monster trucks doing monster things, but there's a fucking story he's telling. And I've been slowly piecing it together every time he comes over and we watch these videos. It's to the point now that I almost want to get a tack board up on the wall and print out a bunch of pictures and have the string going together to show the relationships and sequence of events. I want to do that. I know I don't have to, because if I actually go to the channel, I guarantee you I can follow a chronological order and maybe do a super cut if they don't have one already. But this monster truck is it's pretty fucking badass. The way the story begins, at least as far as I've pieced it together, is they have these two little monster trucks, and it's funny because they're different characters and they're all monster trucks, but they all look different, so they are individual characters. Now, bear in mind, nobody talks throughout this entire series. It's all done with trucks revving up and just how they look and how they act, which is brilliant in its own right. The fact that he has created this channel has created such diverse characters, one, without speaking, and two, doing it through fucking vehicles instead of having talking animals or some shit. It astounds me. This is some better character development and writing than a lot of movies we get nowadays. So anyways, it begins with these two little monster trucks, and you can tell they're little monster trucks because their wheels are smaller, their lift kits aren't quite as outrageous, and they're playing fucking soccer together. They're in this sunny meadow, everything's going great, and as my son puts it, they're playing next to the spooky house, and before you know, the soccer ball gets kicked over the fence into the spooky house, and the spooky house is this big Victorian medieval looking castle, something out of Frankenstein, and it is spooky as shit. There's dead trees, and in the background on the soundtrack, the guy or whomever puts this video together has actually, you know what? I'm gonna take a step back here. One sec. Sorry about that. My son was he has a little paintbrush, and we were trying to find it on Saturday. I couldn't find it anywhere, and lo and behold, one of the cats had stole it, so they were playing with it. I had to get it before I lost it again. Because nothing's worse than being a disappointment in the eyes of your 3-year-old. They look at you and they're like, oh, you suck. I don't want to call you Dada. But no, so the kids are the kid monster trucks are playing, and they kick the ball over this fence, and It's scary. Like the person who puts these videos together, you know those old Halloween albums full of like sound effects of like screaming and chains rattling and like that evil laughter. This shit is going nonstop in these videos. It's always going in the background, and you know spooky shit's going to be going down when these sounds start kicking in. And anytime this castle is displayed, and I'm convinced that the castle itself is a character that hasn't been fully fleshed out yet, and you're going to find out why here. The blue monster truck goes in to get the soccer ball. The red truck goes to follow him in, and as they get in, the soccer ball grows like 20 times in size, and it starts doing weird poltergeist shit. Red monster truck's like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. Takes off. Blue monster truck tries to get out, but the gates to the mansion slam shut in front of him, so he's stuck in there. The soccer ball, I think it is, turns into this big cloud of bats that pick up the little monster truck and carry him inside the castle. Now, this is why I think the castle is going to be a character itself, but sometimes when they flash back to the castle, there's this big black ghost-looking thing that pops out, laughs a couple times, and goes back into the castle. But you never see him outside of the castle. And the monster truck is the central character, but I'm thinking this black ghost thing is what actually made him, because when the bats pull the little monster truck into the castle and flip a switch, and the way they frame it is awesome, where you're looking at these stone arches and the stone wall, and the camera's kind of like tilted up, so you're looking at the corner of where the ceiling meets the wall, and they have lightning crashing, and it's a Frankenstein setup because you hear the electricity of machines running, and you see the backlighting, and you see the shadows on the wall from this, and you hear an evil laugh, and the little boy monster truck turns into the monster truck. And the monster truck is just a dick through and through. He has some weird fucked up supernatural powers where anytime he drives somewhere, it goes from a nice looking peaceful area to super haunted, where you have the trees turn dead, buildings come broken down and desolate and abandoned, and like skeleton hands poke out of the ground and shit. And so the monster truck proceeds to go around fucking shit up and converting things. And then he runs into like the local police monster trucks. Now the local police monster trucks, like in my head, I'm picturing them as like the local sheriffs, like county police. And there's a leader of the group where he runs into the monster truck, and monster truck just fucks his shit right up. So the sheriff monster truck takes off, and this is the most harrowing scene in this series because you hear this awful screaming as the sheriff monster truck is driving over these ridges, and it's bumpy, and they've got multiple layers in the flash animation, like moving, so it looks disorienting and chaotic. There's lightning crashing, and he's in like this graveyard, and it's super fucked up. And he gets out of it. He's like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. I can't deal with this thing, because up to this point, monsters didn't exist. So he rounds up a local posse, and one of them looks like the Winchester's car from Supernatural, and there's some other police monster trucks, and they go full blown vigilante militia, where they go into the garage. That's the other thing with these videos. There's always like a car wash or a garage where they're switching out parts, or if they get dirty, they get clean, and my son just eats that shit up. And anyways, they go into this garage and they start getting like guns strapped to their hoods and on top of the cars themselves. Like, oh, we're going full on vigilante justice here. And then they start hunting down the monster truck. Meanwhile, monster truck is like, he's been busy. He doesn't give a shit what the sheriff's doing. And he starts making other monsters. He starts kidnapping other vehicles, much like he was kidnapped, bringing them back to this fucked up castle, and then turning them into monsters. And in some of the videos, it's a similar process for him. Like, I think when he created his right hand or his lieutenant, which is like this big lizard-looking monster truck, it was a similar process where you had the shot of the wall and the ceiling and the backlighting and the shadows. He converts one into a full-fledged monster truck. Others, though, they get broken down and they get run through that garage process where there's these skeletons pulling these chains of parts up, and then they're like super deformed, monstrous looking like wheels and grills and windshields, and they're swapping out all the parts to make these new monster trucks. And before you know it, he's got like a little pseudo army, and this pseudo army is now fighting with these police monster trucks. And it's funny, like, the police monster trucks will surround a monster and they'll just gun it down, like fucking murder the shit out of it. And it works for the most part. Sometimes, like, I've noticed it'll kill all the lesser ones, but it won't kill the monster truck and the lizard one. They're too powerful. And what will happen is the monster truck will like lift up and tap his front wheels down, and he'll shoot like magic at them. And it always ends up like, I don't know why the police monster trucks keep chasing, because they can't fucking hurt him. And it's not just like a monsters versus cops type of thing, which is interesting in its own right. Monster truck is doing like all types of other shit where he is constantly getting new powers. He's like fucking Superman. He's just got, new episode, he's got a new power. We're gonna explore that. Like, there's one episode devoted to him turning into a sports car and slowly murdering the other cars in the race just so he could win. Like, he's doing it with giant saw blades, he's taking out bridges, he's electrocuting them, like, some dastardly shit. And it gets down to the end of the race where another car is going to win until he gets hit with a bolt of lightning from the monster truck, who then crosses the finish line. Like, the first car gets right to the finish line and he stops. And he gets levitated like 5 feet in the air. Monster truck just zooms right by him and wins, does his little laugh thing, and then he blows up the other car. He's like, ha, I fucking own you. He's like robbing banks and shit and just doing all this dastardly stuff. And it's at this point where the series has been going for a little bit, and we start getting close to Christmas, where there's a Santa monster truck and reindeer monster truck. And they're delivering presents, and lo and behold, who should appear? But monster truck, who then starts fucking with Santa monster truck. But Santa monster truck is apparently a force for good in this world, and just straight up puts monster truck in his place, to the point where he turns this evil, dastardly machine of villainy into a reindeer. It's like, oh, nope, I converted you, you're a fucking reindeer now, get in line, I'm going to use you. Which was amazing. Like, because up to this point, nobody had been able to stand a chance to this monster truck. You know, he's just fucking doing whatever he wants, until this goofy-looking Santa monster truck's like, nope, I ain't having that shit. I own you. And eventually, at some point, monster truck must break free of this polymorph spell and become his rightful evil self again. And what's funny is kind of like, you know, imagine an episode the Dragon Ball Z series, where as it goes on, he becomes more and more powerful. Where he's gone from dealing with like local police to dealing with a magical entity like he is, to now there's a legion of angel monster trucks, and what you think is actually like monster truck god. And they've got all these little, like, they're all painted in white, and they've got these gold wheels, and they've got little halos above them, and they glow a little bit, and there's just this peaceful melody that plays whenever they're around. To where, and this is where I was mistaken, where I thought this monster truck was God, and he's going around and fixing all the stuff that monster truck is broken and corrupted. He's turning everything right again. And he has similar magical powers where, like, he'll lift up and tap his front wheels down and shoot magic. And he can, like, banish monster truck and hit him with lightning. And almost always monster truck runs away. Until one episode where Monster Truck got the upper hand and he killed the god Monster Truck. But lo and behold, back up in heaven, you see an even bigger Monster Truck. Now, what separates this one from the others is that you're viewing him from the front. You're not getting like a side view. You're like, oh shit, that wasn't God Monster Truck. This is God Monster Truck. And and this is where I'm missing pieces. Like, I have to go back and watch this shit on my own to see how the story played out. But at some point, Monster Truck is trying to get into this land of like fairies. There's a portal through a tree, and the tree's got wings, and he's trying to get in there and corrupt like little bug monster trucks. Like, he shrinks down in size, and there's fairy monster trucks. And then at some point he's back in time. I think the angel monster trucks send him back in time, and he's fucking around with dinosaur monster trucks now, and trying to pick on them, but they're so big and primal they can stand up to him. Like, they can't kill each other, essentially. They cancel one another out, which is interesting. And then the latest one I saw had Monster Truck outside of his house, and he was like an asteroid or a meteor, something hit. Something came crashing down, and the next thing you know, this fucking Monster Truck's in space fighting with alien monster trucks. It's just, I need to watch it through and put all the pieces together, because there's so much shit going on. It's so complex for a show that your 3-year-old watches. Like, okay, you're digging all the bright colors, and it's funny when the Monster Truck, like, he laughs at everything he does because he's just a dick. And my son's like, not funny. He hates this monster truck. He's spooky, he's scary, and he's just a dickbag. So it's funny in that regard, but being able as like an adult, because I know back in the day when I'd watch like Rugrats and Rocko's Modern Life and Ren and Stimpy especially, there were a lot of jokes set for the adults. And I'm not saying that these are jokes set for adults, but there's definitely more going on here where, okay, you're probably sitting here watching this video because your kid is really into it, but we're going to give you some substance as well. Like, there's a lot of bullshit YouTube videos about trains and monster trucks out there, but this one, again, stands far above the others as far as like terms of quality. The production's great, and the fact that they're actually providing a story. So definitely hit up the kids channel. Let me just head over. It's kid channel, Cars Nursery Rhymes Learning Videos, and they've got a couple different videos, but you want the I'm scrolling through their YouTube here, the Haunted House Monster Truck, and there's fucking, like, they misspelled angel. It's angle and evil. There's like, I don't know, 30 plus videos of this shit, but it's so fucking good. Like, yeah, they've got Fairyland and Dino World, and a bunch of other shit. So if you've got a kid, definitely check that. Oh, he's got his own fucking channel? I'm gonna subscribe to that shit. Boom. But each one of these videos has like, the lowest one is 700,000 views. There's some that have like 6 million. And what's great is these videos, depending if they're like a compilation or whatnot, they'll last either 4 minutes or 40 minutes. And so your kid stays entertained. And if you want to binge this shit, you can fucking binge it. It's possible. I don't know. I'm thoroughly tickled by it. And if you have kids, definitely, check it out. But again, just the complexity of what's going on here, I thought was brilliantly entertaining. But I think that's gonna do it as far as our episode goes. I wanted to ramble about some other things, but I really went long on both of these, so we're right at the hour mark here. The show itself is supported by you guys. I try not to do advertising because I don't like ads. So head on over to patreon.com/009 and pitch in $1 or $2. Trying to make it worth your while aside from the content itself. I'm trying to do like a value for value model where if you find any value in what it is that I do, reciprocate that, please, and head over to the Patreon. Beyond that, we have Friday Night Smite. There was something that happened with Twitch and YouTube as far as the export. Like, we recorded the episode, it's up on the Horror Cockadus Twitch channel, but for whatever reason it's not exporting. It's not letting me download that, so I'm still working with that. And of course later this week, we'll have another Unwashed Asses and Zero Lives, and then the Friday Night Smite. And then this should be my last super fucked up week of work, so things are going to start going back to normal. But if you want to write the show about anything, whether it be, again, workout habits, tips, tricks as far as staying motivated, and if you want to talk about your own YouTube videos that you watch with your kids, or help me go down the rabbit hole of the monster truck, write the show. unwashedasses@gmail.com. Again, that's theunwashedasses@gmail.com. And we'll talk to you later.
I can feel the end, it's drawing near. It will soon be here. Oh, that much is clear. So shut the doors and turn off the lights. Let us sleep tonight. Let us huddle in the dark. Oh, my lover, you are beautiful, but that beauty comes at such a price. And I know that you'll soon disappear, like the dark and the night.